Okay, we have hit start time. So, a very warm welcome to Pradeep Kumar Yadav. It's going to be looking at architectural practices driving successful digital transformation. So, really looking forward to this session. A very warm welcome, Pradeep. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Philip, and welcome everyone. I'm Pradeep Kumar Yadav, Head of Architecture in a Danske Bank, leading technology transformation for core banking system. What excites me most is business-focused architecture for tomorrow, bridging technology and innovations. Uh, Danske Bank heavily invested in a digital transformation. It's Denmark's largest bank working in a Nordic area, and we are using since quite few years domain-driven design in this modernization journey, and we have got a success, and our processes practices are quite mature. So I'll be diving into how we are using domain-driven design in our to improve our business. Feel free to reach me out on LinkedIn for a quicker response, and email communication. You may expect response in a daytime. So let's get what is domain-driven design and why it is important. So, by definition, it is a set of principle, patterns, and practices for building abstract domain model, which in turn help building software that reflects core domains. But the main principle on this is which empowers domain-driven design is ubiquitous language, which is a shared language across all the stakeholders. It means that customer talks the language, the vocabulary, the same our business experts talks, same uh, technical staff, developer talks, and same goes into the source code. So avoid the miscommunication. And DDD operates into two labels, basically strategic domain-driven design and tactical. So strategic part, basically we collaborate with all the stakeholders um, to identify the landscape of the domain and divide the domains into the well-defined areas into the subdomains, categorize them, and then uh, from there we should we are taking into the solution mode of it, where each domain, each subdomains, we in solution mode we start calling it with the bounded context, and then defining the domain model within that. And in the tactical part also it talks about what are the design patterns, how does it we can create the loosely coupled packaging structure, and so on and so forth. uh, why it is important that you can, by visualizing this two picture, you will be able to understand. It's without DDD, it's an unplanned city, which is really difficult to maintain and scale. So, and slowly it becomes the big ball of mud. And with DDD, you have a planned city, you have a loosely coupled system, where you can easily scale and maintain them, and also you can adapt with the new business changes. The main key things we need to take away with DDD is your business model should drive the design of your system and code. So it's not other way around. It's always we start with the business model, bringing every business stakeholder into the account, and then drive to the software. So that is main key here. And how we go about it, basically, uh, we bring all the stakeholders. We invite business experts, architects, product owners, developers into the room, whether it's offline or online collaboration. And then we try to explore the problem domain. And for that, we use some of the collaborative techniques. Our At least my favorite is event storming. We use heavily in Danske Bank, and some others are storytelling and use case modeling. Uh, Quite few are there. Sometime Wadley mapping, those kind of tools also is being used at the start itself. So our uh, focus there is to collaborate and uh, try to gather the business understanding and entire landscape of the domain, and then what are the uh, hotspots, what are the problems, and what are the opportunities we do have. And then from there we distill down into the smaller subdomains, which is and we divide into at the certain level where complex domain will be easily you can explain to someone else. So we have we create the subdomains and then categorize them with the core subdomain, generic, and supporting subdomains. And uh, and then so at a high level in a problem space we do that, and the next level with the smaller group we get into the in-depth discovery, where basically we apply so process modeling, event storming, software design, event storming techniques to get into the details of it and identify bounded context and context map. And then within the bounded context we start creating domain models, so that represents your uh, business. So the key takeaway from here is our main goal is to bring business and technical team into the same page, and so that everybody talks the same language and create some of the artifacts out of it, which we can iteratively we can keep working together. So uh, so key principle with the domain driven design is ubiquitous language, where the main thing is uh, we focus on to the where customer talks all the languages, advisor same language will transfer to the advisor, and then uh, solution developer also will start talking the same language, and then it will transfer to the engineers and also into the source code and also in databases, tables, and all. So it's the same vocabulary and grammars are flowing across this. So this is important because if there is a miscommunication, a lot of misunderstanding starts coming up, and with this approach we see a lot of clarity upfront, and it increases the productivity as well, and also it adds a lot of value into our design decisions. So if you are trying to adopt domain driven design, so remember to start adopting the shared language concept. So everybody will talk the same language. There is no abbreviation or no extra addition in between uh, on this process from business to the technical team discussion and to the source code. And how what are the process we take with this is basically a high level 8 different processes, but this is iterative process where we business model and user needs gets aligned. So here some of the frameworks we use business model canvas or Wadley mapping at the early to get aligned into the initial requirement. And then we get into the discovery phase where we bring all the stakeholders into the workshop and use some of the collaborative technique to effectively capture uh, uh, all the knowledge and work on that. So uh, we starts with the big picture event storming. Heavily we are using it, and some of the places big picture use case modeling, storytelling is also a good tool. This place to use, and uh, then we start getting into the smaller team into the next level in detail of it, and start decomposing this, and I start identifying subdomains, or you can say bounded context out of this. And once we have those list with us, we hope I'm back. Hope
Hello.
I'm back. Yeah,
We
is
lost you,
back.
but
Yeah, yeah. Is
so
I'm back?
yeah,
Okay,
you're back and
okay.
all is good. So wonderful.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so we decompose these domains into subdomains, and actually into the solution space, we try to identify the bounded context out of it. So it's a cohesive capabilities goes within the bounded context, and that
Hi, Pradeep. We've lost you again. If you could just try disconnecting and then reconnecting, please.
this will help us to decide where to focus on uh, building, and what we can buy and what we can outsource. So is I'm lost, or any questions in between?
No, no, all good, all good. I can see
Um,
you and I can hear you now. I was just staying here for a few seconds just to make sure.
yeah, sure. Thanks. All right. So after that, we categorize. So we take one bounded context and then align the teams with the within the bounded context. What are the domain models? It is like identifying the aggregates, value, object, event, domain events. So that we work on, and that we basically use the bounded context canvas to uh, document it, where inbound and outbound communication are documented, and important business capabilities are written there. And then we move to the basically next level, where we try to identify whether bounded context can be a single deployable unit, or an aggregate could be a single deployable unit. Basically, you can say it is a microservice, or so we start identifying that, and also we sort of try to add like how hexagonal design pattern can help us here to structure our packages in a loosely coupled manner, keeping the domain model into the center. So that we do, and next we take it into the solution mode, where uh, we decide into the tools and technologies. But Remember that this is a iterative process. It's not waterfall way. And one of the tool cross collaboration domain map we use in our bank for basically uh, to visualize and collaborate with cross domain functionalities, and it is influenced, it is not very standard one, it's we have created, and it's influenced with the context map and bounded context. So this gives a lot of clarity when we talk and plan for EBR and QBR as well. So and then if you see, I have documented some of the high level process stages of when we talk to the system transformation and some of the important tools what we are using it. So at a high level, if you see, there are business strategy, alignment, target architecture, design and architecture, roadmap planning, having some of the extra small stages where business model current state to the future model. So these are the tools we are using for stages, business model canvas or Wordly mapping for defining the value chain current to future stage, uh, domain architecture for event storming, bounded context map or canvas we are keep using. For technical architecture, we stop using the component diagram. Ideally, we people randomly go and create the component diagram and try to visualize, which is sometimes difficult to read out. So we use C4 model there. So I've listed here some of the tools which we are using, might be helpful in your journey. Apart from that, I'll take a couple of minutes to share some of the artifacts with the standard matured process. What we are delivering on these processes is very useful to get into the implementation mode. So I have added into the appendix, so you may have a look. If someone is new into the DDD, they may familiarize with domain-driven design map. What are the main concepts, and uh, they have to look into. And few slides I have added into the business landscape to how what is the domain and subdomains we call it, and how the bounded context will look like, and how to document the bounded context with the bounded context canvas, and how to add the integration pattern with the multiple bounded context uh, with the standard patterns which domain-driven design offers, and how to visualize this entire business as a software. If you see, so we use um, DDDs, building blocks like aggregates, event, value, object, to create the domain model. And very simple domain model may look like this. And then once you have a domain model ready with you, then basically align with your hexagonal architecture in domain driven design, to that will guide you to have the package design in your software. So interface layer could be your all the inbound communication. For that, you are exposing any capabilities, and infrastructure layer is basically to keep your outbound communication from there, and keeping the business model into the center, and all the business um, uh, rules or main business logics should be going within the business model, not the service layer and all. Whichever doesn't fits here, and it is kind of orchestration that go to the service, and also this will help you. I'm sharing all the important learning links with you to have later. And then your package structure may look like this once you have that model into the package. And with this journey, what are the key artifacts we create, which collaboratively we keep upgrading as we grow into the business? Is use case modeling, sometime at a very high level, big picture use case modeling, or we are using event storming. It's it's there is a color coding which makes you very simple to read from left to right as a process. So this board is very important. I have shared it very simple one, but when you work, it is quite heavy, big board it will be. And then context map, which will give you the when multiple bounded context come, how they are sharing the data with each other, what is the relationship, and when it comes to the specific bounded context, what is the documentation you need to bring from there, like inbound communication, outbound communication, and main business uh, decisions. And then domain model. And then once you have the bounded context canvas ready, all the inbound communication, definitely you can start picking as a resource modeling, and work on start working onto the contract first approach API design, with whether it is a sync or async APIs. And at the technical architecture, we start with the C4 model, where we mainly we don't include the uh, fourth level code, so with the three level only. And don't miss out this is a new practice we started in, and a lot of traction is there. So shift left FinOps culture, also we are working on to basically uh, to make cost aware engineering decisions. So have a look on that. And yeah, lot of uh, hands-on learning resources I am sharing with you if you are trying out on this. Any questions? I have to take it now.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks for a great presentation, Pradeep. We've got one that's coming from Venkat, saying, how do you manage compliance and regulatory issues with cross-domain design due to dependency and integration risks?
Yep. I'm not sure. I'm breaking, Phillips. So it's from my side or your side?
I can hear you perfectly, so all good.
Could you please repeat?
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the question from Venkat asks, how do you manage compliance and regulatory issues with cross-domain design due to dependency and integration risks?
Right. So along with this, when we have the big picture events, big picture event storming. So there we identify all the compliance and regulatory stuff, and also we have a compliance team where we need to align with that, so that we are keeping into the consideration, and with the collaboration cross domain collaboration map, we easily visualize those compliance and all. So it's like extra on that artifacts, extra documentation we keep creating onto it.
Okay, wonderful. Any other questions at all? Final call. Oh, we've got one here from Andre. How do you find the right balance for just enough architecture that enables transformation but does not end up with a Wild West?
If I understand correctly, the question, how do I find balance between the transformation if the architecture doesn't go well, right?
Yeah, so just enough. How are you balancing kind of just enough architecture with still kind of enabling the kind of broader transformation efforts and not hindering them, I would say. So.
Yeah. So I think this question, it gives us when we collaborate with this artifact. So that's where we have matured with this artifacts. When we create this 6-7 artifacts, it gives us the early uh, early it will come, like what are the problems, because every we doesn't follow the top down or bottom up approach. It is a collaborative approach. So we upfront decide what we need to take next, and we document it. So it's very high level, picture as a landscape, and then diving deep into the bounded context level, and also into the technology stack level. So it's like zoom in kind of, you can see with these few artifacts.
Okay, wonderful. All right, that's perfect timing. We are bang on schedule. So I hope that answers your questions. Thanks, Pradeep, for a really, really interesting and engaging session. The very final presentation of the day is coming up next, so we look forward to seeing you all there. But yeah, another very big thank you to Pradeep for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Glad to, yeah, thanks, Michael. Glad I'm audible. And Philip, thanks. So let's get started. The question that I have been asking myself recently in the past couple of weeks is how long is the tenure of an EA? And this question was triggered by an email I received from my employer a couple of weeks ago saying, "Oh, congrats, Mohan, you have just finished 5 years, and here's a token of appreciation for you." Hard to believe that it has been 5 years in this role as an enterprise architect at this multinational company, Medtronic. And it's been a great journey, great